Hello Rust fans and welcome back to The Grind. In today's video, we're going to be showing you guys how to get instruments on Rust and how to use them. But first, before we start, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Rust content like this. Click the bell notification too so that you don't miss out on anything that's coming out from us. Now let's get straight into the video. So Rust is a very savage game that's all about looting, resources, and survival, but it does not always have to be a stressful ordeal. The world of Rust also has some instruments that you can create some banging tunes with. The game added instruments into the game and it was quite something, a huge thing, and it continues to be to this day. Let me tell you, there is no better feeling than when you're strumming a guitar as you run naked across the fields. The game features a good range of instruments that you can get your hands on, and all of them are craftable. Currently on the screen we have a list of all of the instruments that you can get and what you need to craft them. There are quite a lot of them, so if you need to, feel free to pause the video or screenshot the video currently, because then you can just take the list and use it in game. But some of the notable ones are of course the acoustic guitar with 50 wood and 10 cloth, the tambourine for 25 metal fragments. I'm a big fan of the pan flute, which is 20 metal fragments and 5 cloth. The plumber's trumpet is also really cool, but it is 75 metal fragments, so it is a bit pricey. And of course the xylophone, which is 50 bone fragments. So if you want to get some of these instruments, all it will take for you is just to go on a looting mission and... Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Well, I forgot to put my phone on silent. Okay, what was I up to? Oh yes, the great thing about materials is that you don't have to really look too hard for these ones. A lot of the instruments are made up of very common materials you would usually have on hand or laying around anyway, so instruments are not expensive or tedious to get in Rust, which is of course great. Now there is a catch, not a huge one though, but to be able to craft instruments in Rust, you will have to purchase the instrument DLC. That is truly the one thing between you and playing some sweet music in Rust. Otherwise, if there is another player with an instrument, then you are able to pick up theirs and use it as much as you like, or if you get lucky and loot a player who happened to have died with an instrument on them, and just nab theirs really. So you don't have to be forced into paying money and purchasing the DLC. It's just the benefit of the DLC is that you have the ability to craft them instead of just finding them on someone else. So how do you use the instruments in Rust? Well, now that you know how to get yourself the instruments, it's time to find out how to actually use them. Well, it's honestly very simple. Literally every single instrument in the game has the exact same controls, so once you memorize that one set of controls, it's really simple. Just remember though that not all the instruments boast the same range as one another. For instance, the cowbell has one singular tonk, meanwhile the piano has 88 different notes. Learning the range just comes down to experience, practice, and time, but it is wise to know that range before choosing music pieces to play. I mean, can you imagine starting a song like Smash Mouth and not being able to finish it? Oh, it's a crime. So, to actually play an instrument, the first thing you need to know is that while holding your instrument in your hand, you can lock out all of the other controls on your keyboard by pressing R. This will basically turn your whole keyboard into the instrument's corresponding notes. Otherwise, the common controls for the instruments are the numbers, the number pad, or the numpad 1 to 7. The numbers on the pad will follow the C scale, so C is 1, D is 2, and then it keeps going. E is numpad 3, F is numpad 4, G is numpad 5, and then of course the musical scale wraps back around to A, which is numpad 6, and B to numpad 7. You should be able to see that on the screen as well. You can just see it goes C to B, numpad 1 to 7. Now, pressing numpad plus key at the same time as the number will give you the sharpness of the note. Note that if you want to play a flat note, you'll have to play the corresponding lower notes sharp. If, for instance, to produce a B flat, you'd need to press an A sharp. And of course, to play an A sharp, you'd need to press numpad plus and then numpad 6. Pressing the numpad enter key will lower the notes by an octave. For the non-musically inclined, that means reducing the note to a lower register of the same key. Numpad 1 will give you middle C, but combined with numpad enter, you will play a lower C. But that is not the only way you can play instruments on Rust. The other option is more musical and for music artists, for you can use MIDI files, which is pretty damn insane. You can grab a MIDI file from somewhere on the net and add it to your Rust instruments directory in your computer. All you need to do is go create a directory by navigating to your Rust install location. You can find this directory by looking for the Steam directory and entering through. But if you don't want to use MIDI to just autopilot the instruments, then you can just take your very own MIDI device if you have one and play the instruments using it. That is bloody awesome if you ask me. Some MIDI devices will have a USB output as default, but others will require a MIDI to USB converter. A relatively cheap cable, you can pick it up for just a few dollars. Once you plug your instrument in, make sure there isn't any extra software required by the device. Some are plug in and play, others may need an ancillary software. Then open Rust menu and enable MIDI output. Your MIDI device should now act as a MIDI controller whenever you have an instrument equipped in game, and that's it. Now you're a musician in Rust. But for now, guys, that does bring us us to the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Rust content. Hit the bell too so that you don't miss out on any future videos. We'll see you guys next time, but until then, take care.